Okay, welcome back. So how about a little armchair, a little mission / Craftsman armchair. Here's what you need: some foam core, get that at the dollar stores, fine. Choice of fabric, some balsa wood, one of these strips that I have talked about in another video that I call the lumberyard. You can cut your balsa wood into this size as well if you don't have these. Then you've got your paint and your assorted items that you frequently need. Let's do some cutting. I think I forgot to tell you you're going to need 3 square toothpicks. How could I forget toothpicks? I just don't know. Hopefully, if you've been making things from my channel, you just have a big box of toothpicks and it's no big deal. The toothpicks, square ones, will be cut at 2 centimeters. These strips, okay, are the ones I was talking about. If you didn't have a strip that you've gotten off of Amazon, I'll put the link on there. Then take your balsa wood, and you're going to want this to be 4 millimeters, okay, high. I mean, if I put it this way, it's high, okay. And then for everybody, the length of this is 3.4. Okay, so a strip that is 3.4 by 4 millimeters. These two guys out of the same strip would be 3 centimeters. So 2 at 3 centimeters. And then this little guy, which you can kind of see how this is coming together like that. This guy down here is 2 centimeters. Okay, so that's 2, 2, 3, and 3, and then you have 3.4. Over here we have the cushions. So we have 2.5 by 3 for the back. We have 2.5 by 2.5 for the bottom cushion, and then for the base we have 2.5 by 2.5. Okay, so those are your cuts. Remember though, I didn't say here that you're going to have 2 armrests. So when you cut these, you're going to cut that twice. Okay, we have 2 armrests, and I didn't mention that, but you do these cuts and then do it again for the other armrest. Let's glue the armrests first. Be sure that you sanded before we start to glue. Then what we're going to take is that 3.4, and we're going to measure this at 1.7. So all I'm doing here is finding the middle. I just want the middle, and that looks about right. Maybe a little bit that way. I'm going to do that just to help me out. All right, so this 3.4 will go this way, okay, with the narrow side or the thin side, however you want to put it, up for us while we work on this. So yeah, I don't really think it matters what order you decide to glue in. Just to show you what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take one of the little toothpicks here. I'm going to put glue on both sides because that glue won't dry before I get to where I want to get to. And of course I'm putting one of these at that middle spot. Looks like it still needs to go that way just a little bit. I want to try to use my board to help me. I can scooch this down more and kind of double check my measurements. Looks about right. Okay, I can always adjust. I don't want to be futzing with that. You're waiting on me. So these are the 3-point. So the 3 centimeter. Now I'm gluing this, you notice, a little bit in. Okay, and I'll show you what'll happen here. I'll glue this a little in. Because what I want to do is, this is my 2 centimeter one with the cat hair on it. Yours doesn't have to have a cat hair. That's completely unnecessary. Dog hairs, cat hairs, ferrets, it's not necessary. Don't worry about it. So, I didn't guess very well. I really need to bring those in more. But they're not dry. So I'm going to bring these in. The glue down here hasn't quite dried. So everything is adjustable. Oops, very adjustable. And using my board to help me, I want these to be all nice and squared. Once I have this and it's kind of started to dry, and that's good, I can go ahead and do my other 2 little guys, and they should fit in there without a problem. There may still need to be some adjustments, it looks like, but you know what to do with that kind of thing. You're used to it. It's always adjustments and whatnot. So we put our other little guys, and I don't have a measurement for this because I really just eyeball these all the time whenever I make the mission furniture. I've been working on that series for a little while now, and I always kind of eyeball it. Now I'm looking at my board and I'm seeing somewhere something has gone awry, but I can fix that off camera. What I'm doing is I'm just going to install this other one, this other style toothpick, this other toothpick, and I have these just, closer to the middle than the outsides, kind of clustered together a little bit, and that's what I want. So I'm going to do that for both sides, adjust this because it needs it. Do both armrests, then sand if you got glue anywhere you don't want it, because the next step can be to paint these. So here's how it looks all glued and painted. I've been using Burnt Sienna because I'm doing this as a series and I want my library to have the furniture all match. So I don't have any special tricks. Some of this is coming off the back, I see. But at any rate, I don't have tricks for painting. So that's that. So let's go ahead and do our covering. So the easier ones to do would be the bottom and the base. So you've got your choice of fabric here, and there's always those little tacky glue bits. Trace me up a wall. I mean, a little, it's fine, a little bit of tape will take care of that. Leave yourself plenty of room around this. Just cut out a square. You're on the wrong side here, of course. Wrong side of the fabric is needed. Then this is super easy. We're just going to probably trim this because I have quite a bit. We're just going to glue the sides. Okay, I'm going to do that, come back, and then just give you a few tips for folding in this way. These sides are nice and dry. So a little tip for dealing with the ends is to take your scissors here, and I'm just trimming. I don't want to go all the way, just to here. Hopefully you can see that. And I just cut along, and I'm going to cut some of that bulk out. So it'll be more like this. And when I go to cut this, I might even do more. But see, if I cut that, then I'm going to fold this in a little bit and see more. I might be able to take more fabric out of those corners to help me. But all I'm going to do is do a nice fold over. I want this front, if this is the front, to look nice and neat because it'll show. This will show. It doesn't like make or break your whole project, but do a nice neat one. You're going to do that on the back, okay? Then the bottom, okay, this is the other 2.5 by 2.5 square. Do the same thing as this, okay? But for this one, we're going to do it a little bit differently. Oh, I like these, by the way, to hold fabric down while it's gluing, because otherwise I get impatient and it'll start to come unglued, and then that's not a good idea. Oh, see, look at that. I took that off of there. It wasn't quite glued. Okay, so at any rate, when I do this one, I'm doing it differently in that I want to be able to fold this fabric over, okay? And then we'll take care of that extra. Just do about what you did before. And the first step is actually going to be to fold in the sides. But make sure you have enough fabric so that you can go this way and you have a nice neat back, because with an armchair it's highly likely that the back of your piece is going to show, and so this is the way that we're going to get a nice clean back to it. So let me go ahead and cut this. So when I went to the fabric store to get this fabric is really too stiff for this. But I couldn't find this except in the area where it's all home decor fabric. Okay, no big deal, right? Well, that's the home decor fabric is on those big, long, I'm sure you've been to fabric, I don't have to tell you this, but on the big rolls, okay, the long rolls. And so, you know, the person cutting your fabric has to haul that thing over to the cutting table. So I pick out this blue fake suede and a black fake suede. That's not important. What is kind of funny, and I mean, I felt pretty bad about this, is that she took this roll way over there, and then I'm just asking for 6 inches. And I felt really bad. I was like, I need 6 inches. She kind of looked at me like, what? I just hauled this over for 6 inches. It's like, yeah, I do miniatures, you know. And I was kind of, you know, sort of shy about it. And I am not a shy person, but it just cracked me up that is what I had to ask for. So I need to have this dry, but your next step is going to do the same here as you did on the little ones, and that is kind of trim some fabric back for yourself. It's just going to make things a little easier. And this is such a stiff fabric. It's a pain, but it's doable. We can do this. We can get through this. And then you're just going to fold this in again. But this time, you're taking it all the way to the bottom. Okay, it'll come over. Obviously, the clips won't be there. It's going to come all the way over and down. And let that dry, and then I'll come back and show you how to deal with this bottom, all this extra fabric down here at the bottom. Okay. You have all this extra fabric here, so go ahead and trim a little bit of that off. And then, if your fabric isn't really stiff like mine, then all you need to do is, let's see, this is our front. We would want to fold in the front and glue it down, and then fold the back. The object of the game here is to have a nice clean black back, because any messiness across the front here is not going to show. But I'm trying to have a nice clean, back on this. So that's kind of what I'm going to try to do. Mine is very bulky, but ultimately it doesn't matter if you have a raw edge, as long as that back comes forward. Now don't glue it all the way over onto up on this. See, it'll go this way. This will be the bottom. We're just closing this off. Okay, that's what we're going to do next. So I have a certain way that is best for gluing this together. The side that you need to have on the outside is the side where the armrest, the top of the armrest sticks out. So in other words, the completely flat side is to the inside. Now you'll take your base, which is the one that is just a piece of balsa wood wrapped, and one of your not so great sides. What you do is we're going to glue this on. Now just glue it to where it's sort of centered, and you want this in alignment with the top of this bar, this rail. And you can wait a second until that glue gets a little bit tacky. I'm going to go ahead and show you, though. There's kind of a better way to do it, and a not so great way of doing it, I found. I'm going to get glue on that. Now, if you do get glue on the surface of your fabric, then I'll show you how to take care of that in a minute. So one of my bad sides I need to put in here. Okay, then before I put on the other side, once this is dry, okay, I will take my bottom cushion and I'm going to have this forward. Pick the front, whichever one you think is the nicest one. I think this one's my nicest one. And when I glue this, I want to glue it to where, this is super hard to show you. But see, my fabric is really stiff. So I really have this pointy edge that sticks out. Yours might not stick out that much, but it probably does stick out a little bit. And if I scooch this forward a little, then it accommodates it. It allows for this cushion to glue a lot better. Now, of course, this is coming apart because I haven't glued the whole thing. But what you want to do is go ahead and glue those two pieces, and then you'll go ahead and glue the other side on in the same way. Then I'll show you how to do the back so that it's nice and clean. Now for the back. So what we're doing is we're going to bring this back, and this glue is still not quite dry. We're going to bring this back just to the bottom of the cushion. You notice that a little bit of that base shows in the back, and that's okay. You don't need to bring it all the way down because it won't really show that much. Basically, you'll just kind of wheedle this way in here, and then the front sticks up about like so, about a pinky finger, I guess. So you'll bring it to that seam, and then it'll stick up about like so. So I'll show you the completed piece in a minute. What I want to do is leave you with a couple of tips. If you have a bunch of these crumbs on your project, just get a piece of blue tape or Scotch tape and just sort of, pull that off of there. Just kind of rub it off of there, and it'll come off without a problem. Now, if you have, you might be able to see I have some glue there. So what I'm going to do, and hopefully your fabric works just as well, is I'm going to soak a toothpick with a little bit of just plain water, and I'm just going to kind of work at that. And with a little bit of patience, I'll loosen up that glue. I'll moisten that glue again, and then I can come back with the other side of my Q-tip and kind of dry it off. I can use a paper towel to kind of dry it off, and that's what I do to get those off. Most fabrics have no problem with this. So there we go. There's the finished project, a little Craftsman chair. I will continue in this Craftsman series. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe.